All right, so the Final Four is about to kick off this weekend, and all the seeds are what, like a four and higher. I think there's like a fourth seed, a five seed, an eight seed, a nine seed, something like that. No ones, no twos, no threes. So, is the Final Four better with the higher seeds, or do you like to see the low seeds, the ones and the twos and the threes, make it to the Final Four? And Buck, I'll start with you.
Man, this has been one of the most intriguing tournaments, Madness tournaments I've ever seen. All the top seeds getting their ass kicked at some point during the tournament. So this year's tournament, I think, is going to be a lot of excitement simply because you don't have the one, twos, and threes. It's been a very unique tournament. I don't think we've ever seen one in the history of this tournament be like this. So, but this is what happens when you have a transport portal in the NIL deals. You
Amen.
you got you got parity throughout all of these teams. You got teams that you ain't never heard of before, whooping folks' ass. Whooping the Gonzagas and the Alabamas, and well, Alabama not normally up there, but they are. But still not in basketball. But you see all these no-name teams just coming out of nowhere, winning these tournament games, and it's because of these NIL and transport portals. You're going to see more of this. You're not going to see some of these big name schools like you used to, what you're accustomed to seeing, winning every year. And I think this is a product of those NIL and transport portal. You don't like who your coach. Hey, I can change team because you ain't getting no starter. You're getting any playing time. I can go to this school and be a starter. So that's what you're getting, and that's why you see what you've seen this year. I don't think anybody expected it, especially when whatever that team was way out there that beat that Florida, whatever that I can't remember the
Florida
initial
Atlantic.
team,
Yeah, FAU.
Florida Atlantic.
Yep.
Yeah, when they blew that team out, man, everybody was like, who the hell is that? Everybody bracket was tore up from that point on because anybody that picked that team to beat them, they should buy a lottery ticket like yesterday because nobody expected that. And I mean, anybody that's damn, sheep and they picked that, they need to get a lottery ticket. But
Yeah,
the
my
bottom line
bracket,
of it is, if your bracket was blown up from that game on,
my,
so
my, my bracket was blown up when UCLA lost to Gonzaga. They had their game
yeah,
and just stopped scoring. But
yeah,
I feel you, and I
so
do think that the transfer portal and NILs has made a difference because, but shoot, Florida Atlantic, the coach said that some of the big schools have been trying to recruit his players during the tournament since they were
yep,
doing so well. So he may not have all his players next year if he's there
yep,
because the coaches
Uh,
get deals too.
yeah, the,
But
yep.
the basketball coach at my school told me that three of them guys from Mississippi. I didn't even know it on FAU
yeah,
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew about two of them. I didn't know about the third.
Yeah.
And but Ray, what do you think, man? Do you think the Final Four is better with your traditional one, two, and three seeds, and maybe an occasional wild card in there, or do you not mind the higher seeds?
I think the best team should win. That's what March Madness is about. So, I mean, you typically know more about the teams that, the Alabamas and Houston's and teams that were really doing well this year. You typically know more about them, know more about the team and everything else. But at the same time, if you got a tournament and you get these teams you ain't never seen before balling out and hitting threes and hitting last second shots and all that and winning, I think that's what March Madness is all about. So I think it's good.
All right, Eminem, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I agree with everybody, man, and definitely what Buck had said about the portal, because that's what they was. I like what Michael Wilbon and them was saying about that early in the week on Pardon the Interruption. But I think one thing that it definitely did do, I think it made it it's gonna make it real interesting in the next recruiting class, because now a lot of coaches be like, it's like, yeah, man, you can go there and, you know, uh, yeah, Michigan State is known more for basketball than we are, but look what happened last year. Look what happened last year. So I mean, between that and the portal, I mean, the madness you think is mad now, man. In the next 5 years, at the rate it's going now, oh, the bracket stuff is gonna be big money because it ain't gonna be just everybody got the same Final Four, and so now you got to decide like, oh, okay, well, I said Duke. This person said that. Some of these, more known basketball schools, you can almost predict who it's going to be every year. Kentucky or something like that. Back in the day. I mean, but now, it's gonna really, really put some interest in that bracket building because it's gonna look crazy now. Like literally, I know they call it chauvinistic and all that stuff. Man, I can see a lot of women winning in the brackets now in the next 5 years. The way it's going. I never heard of this team just pick it. You're like, damn, they won?
Right. So, well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be I like seeing the smaller teams make it. I mean, we're talking about Florida Atlantic versus San Diego State and UConn versus Miami. Now, UConn has been there, done that before. Miami is a good team. They're a recognizable school, but this is their first Final Four, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's first one.
And so I think it's kind of cool as a sports fan to see this, but I understand how some people may be turned away. If Florida Atlantic plays Miami, it may not be as big if it was, Houston and Gonzaga or something like that. So I get that.
Roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.